Hello everybody and welcome back to Card Karma. Today we're taking a look at another legacy deck, this time focusing around Flygon with the Sand Slammer ability. It says at any time between turns, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, put 1 damage counter on each of your opponent's Pokemon. So yeah, the idea is that we constantly have this Flygon up front, putting that incremental damage over time, that Sandstorm effect, and and then we use some of our other Pokemon to help turn that damage into something more useful. So we use Dusknoir with the Sinister hand ability, which says as often as you like during your turn, you may move 1 damage counter from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another one of your opponent's Pokemon. So with that, we can take all those little bitty damage counters that are, filling our opponent's benched Pokemon and move them to one, specific threat and take that Pokemon out, right away. And then again, working around the Flygon ability, we have Accelgor with the Deck and Cover attack, which for a double colorless does 50 damage, and it says the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed and poisoned. Shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. So yeah, we use this attacker, he shuffles himself into the deck, allowing us to promote a new Pokemon, ideally a Flygon, so that our Sand Slammer will effect after this attack goes through. We then beat him down with the Sand Slammer. So yeah, that's the basic idea of the deck, and let's just go ahead and look at more specifics and just how it's put together and why I chose the cards that I chose here. So we have a 4-1-4 line of Flygon. It's nice to have that middle stage sometimes. If you whiff your rare candy or whatever, you can just slowly do it. Not ideal, but it'll get the job done one way or another. And it's also good for like a backup one, so your trap inch isn't as vulnerable. So yeah, 4 copies of Flygon, as I said. Sand Slammer, we're not using his attack pretty much ever. We don't even have the energy to do so. 140 HP is pretty decent. Doesn't get just one shot by a lot of things, but it still does get beat by certain attacks. 3-3 line of Accelgor, they do shuffle themselves back in, so most of the time they're not truly prize liabilities as much, because like I said, they remove themselves from battle, so they, you can't hit them if they're in the deck. So we don't need the full line of them. We run 1 copy of Pichu. Maybe you want one more, especially if you can get it early before you reveal anything else in your deck, because his playground effect says each player may search his or her deck for as many basics as they like and put them on their bench. And with this deck, you want your opponent to fill the bench, because that allows you to get more damage per turn from the Sandstorm. So if you get this as your only starting Pokemon and you can play it down and then just fill your bench with all your support and they fill their bench, you will be in the better position there. So Pichu's really nice for this deck, assuming you can get it off. 1 copy of Jirachi, obviously just put the supporter in your hand, no questions asked. Really good. We run a 2-2 line of Dusknoir. It could be a liability not having either a middle line one or maybe more Duskulls or whatever, because you do need Dusknoir. You can win without it, but he's going to really help you move those damage counters and manipulate, your prizes and stuff like that. So Dusknoir is very helpful for the deck overall. And right now we only have rare candy as a means to get it, so that could be a possible, drawback. And then 1 copy of Mew EX. This thing can use Accelgor's attack and shuffle himself back into the deck, and that makes it so that you don't have to keep re-evolving a Shelmet. You can just have 1 Accelgor on the bench and just keep doing it with the Mew. So yeah, it's a nice little backup option. The only drawback of Mew is, not the only drawback, Mew has some drawbacks. One being it's an EX with only 120, so it's liable to get knocked out in certain scenarios, and it gives up 2 prizes, which is not good. It is weak to Psychic, and also it can't use a Silver Bangle like a Accelgor can. So a couple drawbacks of using Mew, but it's still nice, like I said, to avoid having to re-evolve a Shelmet each and every time. So yeah, that's the Pokemon line. And then moving forward into the trainers, we choose Dowsing Machine as our ace spec. It's good for getting supporters back, since we don't run a lot of other ways to get supporters into our hand, especially once Jirachi's been played. 3 copies of Junk Arm. This is going to allow us to reuse so many of our cards, really. Rare Candy, Max Potion, Level Ball, Pokemon Communication, whatever you like. Everything but the supporters, basically, which the Dowsing Machine can grab. So 1 copy of Max Potion. Now this is kind of a more tech card, and you could probably swap it out for something that you feel is more useful to the deck, but I think it's definitely worth a spot as a one of. Max Potion, since a lot of our Pokemon won't be actually attacking, most, Flygon and Dusknoir don't attack, so in the off chance you have to use them to take some beatings or whatever, you can just Max Potion them right off, and you don't lose any energy or anything, you just heal up your Pokemon for free, so it's a pretty nice effect sometimes with this deck. Pokemon Communication, this helps with, say you have you have two Accelgors in your hand or whatever, and you can't evolve them both, or whatever, you have rare candy and something else you don't need, but you can Pokemon Communication for a Dusknoir, rare candy, Pokemon Communication lets you be a bit more selective with your Pokemon that you get, and you do run a lot of Pokemon, so it's not uncommon to have one you don't need at that exact moment that you can swap in for one that you do need. So Pokemon Communication is really nice in this deck. We run 4 different flavors of rare candy. Rare candy obviously being a key component to this deck, needed to evolve your Dusknoirs, and it really helps your Flygons as well. So yeah, you definitely want 4 rare candies. Super Rod, this is going to help you get back anything that you do happen to lose. Whatever, your Pokemon are important. If you lose a Flygon, whatever, you do need to get them, you need to keep Flygons streaming if they do get knocked out. But yeah, Super Rod's just going to help you in a lot of scenarios. Pretty standard to run at least 1 Super Rod. 1 copy of Switch, and this is another card you could maybe switch out. We do run 3 Float Stones, but Switch is nice for scenarios where they tool scrapper your Float Stone, or maybe you just don't have your Float Stone and you still need to switch, whatever. Switch is really nice for that. And a lot of our Pokemon have big retreat costs or whatever. The Flygon and the Dusknoir have huge retreat costs, I think, so Switch is pretty key, I think. 1 copy of Tool Scrapper, primarily because Garbodor just really ruins this deck. It turns off your Sand Slammer, it turns off your Sinister Hand, it turns off your Jirachi. I think that's it, but still, those are some big abilities that we need to take advantage of. Alternatively, Tool Scrapper is also good against Keldeo, who otherwise is a big problem for this deck as well, because he can break the Accelgor lock from the deck and cover. So making a Keldeo less mobile is definitely helpful. I run 1 Ultra Ball, and this could be wrong. Maybe you want more than 1, 2 or 3 maybe. It's going to let you obviously pick exactly what Pokemon you want to get, and just get it immediately into your hand. But I just felt like it's too destructive on resources without without eggs or without other stuff that you can benefit from discarding. And there's lots of other ways to get Pokemon, so it remains to be seen whether this is the right play or not. But yeah, I only have the 1. Chorus, again, we do want full benches. We want to fill our bench. We hopefully our opponent fills their bench, so Chorus we should be able to take advantage of. Sorry about that. 2 copies of N, just a really good supporter. And with Dusknoir, we can choose to take our prizes when we feel like it, really. You can manipulate damage counters so that nothing gets knocked out for a while, and then have 1 big blowout turn where you knock out everything on their bench even. You can take 6 prizes in 1 turn if you manipulate your damage counters in the right way. So yeah, N can really help us disrupt whatever, because we can control how prizes are taken, in a lot of cases anyway. 1 copy of Pokemon Collector. You could choose to run maybe a second Pichu or something over Collector, I don't know, but Pokemon Collector is nice early game for that just quick setup, especially with a lot of evolution things that are going on in the deck. So yeah, 1 copy of Collector, 3 copies of Oak's New Theory. It's pretty much the best supporter, and you could maybe even run 4, but I don't know. It's really good. 1 copy of Skyla. This can grab you that rare candy at the right time. It can grab you a Float Stone to get you out of a bad spot. It can grab you any of your other cards, obviously. Skyla is really nice in this deck, and yeah, it might be slow for a supporter. It doesn't draw you a bunch. It draws you 1 card essentially. But this deck doesn't mind taking it slow sometimes. So 1 copy of Twins. This, sometimes you do take knocks. Say your Pichu that you started out with gets knocked out, whatever. Then you activate your Twins, and you can start. You can really pinpoint what you need to set up from that point on, and yeah, it's really powerful effect, and it's definitely worth the 1 of. And obviously with Dowsing Machine, you could play it again if you need to, and yeah. So Twins is pretty nice. 3 copies of Beach, and this is probably like the biggest, you know, whatever, what's the word I'm looking for? The biggest boon to new players building this deck, because this card is very expensive, very rare, very hard to get. But it's also very critical to the deck. I would say it fits right in with what you're trying to do, and it's just super helpful. So like you could even run 4. That's how good this card is in this deck specifically. But like I said, very hard to get. So the deck's not. I can't say the deck's not playable without it, but this card helps the deck so much that it's really, you're not playing the best version of the deck unless you're playing this card. You could probably get away with just running 2, but and I even had to borrow 1. I only own 2 myself. Yeah, so the beaches are going to be a big, you know, drawback or whatever for building this deck if you're trying to get into Legacy and don't already own these cards. But what Beach does is a stadium that lets you end your turn and just fill your hand with 7. So if you're choosing not to attack, you have to not attack to use it. But with Flygon, we don't really. Our Flygon sitting there is our attack, so we don't have to worry about it that much, and we can just draw, you know, draw for days. So yeah, very nice card for this deck. And then 3 float stones, like I said, Dusknoir and Flygon have pretty hefty retreat costs, and this will help you get around that. And you especially want your Flygon floated, so that when you do deck and cover to him, he can just switch right back out, no problem. And then yeah, 1 copy of Silver Bangle. With Accelgor, he shuffles himself back into the deck, so ideally you just never lose this. It just always gets shuffled right back in, and you can get it over and over again if you're lucky with the draws and all that. But yeah, this helps your damage on EXs tremendously, and yeah, just a good card, so no reason not to run it. And yeah, that's the last for our trainers, and then finally just 4 DCEs are only energy. The only attackers in our deck are Accelgor. They shuffle their energies right back into the deck each and every time, so again, ideally you don't lose any of those resources. Those are being constantly shuffled and recycled, so you don't really have to worry about running such a low energy count. And yeah, so one last look at the full deck. The DC's down there. Yeah, this is AccelGon or Flygon, Accelgor Flygon, whatever you want to call it. Sand Slammer, Sinister Hand. Yep, it's just some pretty cool abilities working hand in hand together to make a pretty awesome strategy. So yeah, that's the deck, and let's get a match for you guys and show you how it performs. Alright, we got a match here versus No Verb with a Dark Water Psychic Steel deck. So lots of colors there. My only hope is that water is not a Keldeo. Keldeo can be pretty annoying for this deck. We do get the flip, so we get to go first here. We do actually start Pichu, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that as it is. See, Tool Scrabber, Junk Arms, Silver Mirrors. Silver Mirror doesn't matter. Oh, we can't attack on the first turn actually, so this could actually be kind of bad. You see a Sableye here. I guess since I can't attack, I'm just gonna go ahead and set up anyway. Get all of our basics down on the first turn, which is definitely not bad at all. I'm going to hold on to floats and stuff because I know he's playing Tool Scrappers and that sort of thing. Just going to go ahead and Oaks, leave all that stuff in the deck. Alright, well we could top deck Flygon and get that ready to go, or we just get Dusknoir. I'd rather Flygon, obviously, since he is the key component of the deck. I could maybe even Skyla for my other Pokemon communication. This Pichu can get knocked out by Laser Bank, so that's. I wish I would have gone second, but you know I didn't know that I would just draw into the Pichu, so. Alright, he does take my candy and my float. I can still Skyla for a candy if I get the Flygon, or I could Skyla for Beach, Okay, it looks like it is actually maybe some kind of Weavile deck. Oh, you see a little Sneasel coming down. I didn't see green, grass in his colors, but maybe he had so many that it didn't show them all. Or maybe he's playing that other. He's probably playing that top deck, the other Weavile, the discard one. Oh, so I just top deck rare candy, so that's cool. And we get Accelgor. Now, do I Skylo for communication and get the Flygon? I feel like I do, or do I just Skylo for beach? I think I'm going to Rare Candy, Dusknoir, and Skylo for beach. That seems like a fine play, I guess. I guess I just say Pichu up front. He's the most expendable. And right now he's not even really threatening an attack, so... Sorry about that. See the energy go down, we see the random receiver. Oh, he does have eggs. So maybe it is just a straightforward Weavile. Junk arm, maybe for another level. Yep. Okay, Sycamore is the hand away. Evolution, plays town map, interesting. He does have an egg prize, it's nice for us, and his Tortuga. Oh, he has a bunch of Pokemon prize, which is actually good for us. And I don't mind the laser being prized either, for that matter. So, junk hunt. Grab maybe a level and a junk arm or something. Junk arm and something else. Yep. Alright. And our turn. So here I can bangle that, it doesn't really matter, I guess. He probably doesn't even play EXs, so I can probably just get rid of that. What I'm going to do is communication the Accelgor away for a Flygon. I'm going to junk hunt the collector, the bangle. I don't think I'm going to need the bangle. I'm going to grab that candy. Go ahead and get our Flygon online. I'm just going to play the Oak here. Okay, I'll go ahead and put a second Trapinch down. I don't have a DCE yet, which is unfortunate. So I'm just going to retreat here and beach. And Sand Slimer goes into effect. Only putting 10 or 20 down this turn. Opponent playing smart and not filling up his bench. We'll need 5 Pokemon to knock out this Flygon. He does have his 3 eggs there. Oh, he runs 2 Turtologas. Wow. Tortuga, however you're supposed to say that. Junk arm. Okay, that's whatever really. For me right now, it's not that big of a deal. I guess I could have just held the float, but was that another tool scrapper? Oh, he must have junk on me. So I guess I'm not paying attention. Yeah, he's just playing out all these junk arms. I guess with the Sableye, it's not as big of a deal. Still, he's not getting a knockout with the Weavile yet anyway. And he just tossed 2 more Pokemon there. So he might not even have the offensive power. Oh, he does play EX. I doubt he'll ever promote that, but maybe. Now let's see if he actually has. I know he has 3. He needs 2 more on top of that too. Well, he is charging up the Darkrai. So I might have to junk arm for that Bengal, but maybe I just won't need to. I'm just interested to see if he gets this knockout here. It's going to be a major factor. Okay, level for Sneasel. Does he play it or does he use it for Vilify? Okay, looks like he's going to Vilify it. So, I wonder if that means he has the 5. Oh, he has Ultra Ball. So he should have the kill here. He has to toss 2 Sneasels, but it's definitely going to put me behind. Yep, he had all 5. From a Pichu with the free retreat. Okay, we got another float. I guess I might as well play that. Don't want to play Mew here. Guess a Jirachi. In. What is he's down to 5? Or I could just Colress. I think Colress doesn't seem too bad if you ask me. I'm just gonna play this and get it out of the deck. Still have yet to hit a DCE. That's kind of mind-boggling to me right now. But I can junk arm for Pokemon Communication. Flygon online there. And I guess I could just beach. He's gonna hold everything in beach. There's our sand starting to rack up a little bit. Right now we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 on board. Doesn't, I mean, I know that he has 4 Pokemon right there. He tossed 2 Sneasels there, Weavile there, so I mean, he has to be getting lower on his Pokemon count. So I'm not sure if he can repeatedly, you know, be tossing those 5 Pokemon that he needs to knock out Flygons. Okay, I have the other floating hands, I'm not worried about that. I'm glad that he's wasting junk arms on that and not ultra balls or level balls or whatever. Cheater search. So if you grab, I don't know, you grab anything. So. Grabs a random receiver. I don't know why you wouldn't just grab the supporter, but maybe just to get it out of the deck. Okay, he can now switch into Darkrai and start doing stuff, but Darkrai won't kill me either. At this right now, at least. He does take the knockout on Pichu. Grabs his last egg. So you can see our damage racking up here now. Good dowsing for Skyla Max Potion. Dowsing for go ahead and get another Trapinch down. Do I do the max potion play? Or do I try and actually get a DCE and attack here? Is my Super Rod still in the deck? Yeah, I haven't played it anyway. Just grab the Colress and draw a bunch. I guess I'm doing that. And we'll be using our Accelgor for the first time this match. And promote our Flygon. Now, hopefully he doesn't run Switch or something like that. And if not, that Dusknoir or that Darkrai is stuck there for this turn. Sorry about that minor glitch there. Looks like he played an Oak's New Theory. Attaches a Dark, you've got a Junk Arm. Okay, yeah, Tool Scrapper, but if that's the worst he can do, then I think I'm in a good spot here. start taking prizes at some point. Junk on those two. Grab a float. Do I end? No, I'm just gonna call her. Oh, sorry. Ooh, I actually hit the max potion, which I will gladly accept. And at this point, I can actually just lock this Darkrai down. So that Sableye is going to die when the sand hits him. So this one. He's at 30. So that Weavile will die. And we get the knockout. As you can see, I was about to blow out his entire squad in one turn. I had DCE Accelgor. All I had to do was deck and cover, lock that Darkrai down. His entire bench was going to die. I'd take 4 prizes, and then the Darkrai just slowly dies too, taking my last 2 prizes. I know it's not as cool because you don't get to see it, and I know Dusknoir takes a while, and so people get annoyed by it, but as you can see, that was about to be in this utter, entire domination of that Darkrai Weavile deck. And I know it sucks to, you know, oh, you were going to see it, you're sorry that he conceded, but it was definitely going to happen. I was about to just decimate his entire team. So, yeah, that's the power of Flygon, and you can see how it may seem innocent at first. You're not really doing much, you're kind of just setting up whatever, a little bit of damage from the Flygon, but not too much. And then out of nowhere it becomes just this unstoppable force, really. It just can just take prizes and knockouts out of nowhere. So looking further, the deck does have some bad matchups, especially including, like I said, decks that include Keldeo or decks that include Virizion EX, because he turns off the status conditions from deck and cover. And yeah, just making it a lot harder for you to take knockouts. And they can't, you know, Genesect can't one-shot a Flygon, but he can take it out pretty easily. And the damage, you just won't have time to rack it up. There's a couple of other matchups that you can struggle with, but you actually have a lot of fairly good matchups too. So yeah, it just depends, like I said, on your matchups and everything else. But as long as you get set up and you keep those Pokemon flowing, you know, if your Flygon gets knocked out, make sure you evolve another one, etc. Stuff like that. If you can make sure that happens, you can be, it's a really, really powerful deck. And yeah, so I hope you got to see what I'm talking about here. I know, like I said, he conceded, but you can really see how powerful it can be and how it can, like I said, it can actually just take 6 prizes in one turn. I wasn't able to get 6 in one turn there, but I was going to take 4 and take the other 2 relatively soon after. He wouldn't have even had anything to switch to at that point, and he was running really low on resources as well. So yeah, that's the Accelgor Flygon deck. I hope you enjoyed, and you guys take it easy out there. Peace out.